Now, the shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
Here we go.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Wednesday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is March 11th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing all right. You know,
I gotta say,
yeah, I'm doing okay. To be honest, you know, the boys kind of hung me out to dry yesterday, and then, yeah, I just feel like I've been getting jammed all day too.
why? How'd you get hung out to dry?
You come in out of town. I feel like, you know, generally, first person into a rental house is responsible for just, you know, making sure everybody knows what's going on in the rental house. I get here, I got to go to a dinner, you know, I need to shower, and I go in and there's no shampoo or soap in either of the bathrooms. And the boys had been in the house for 24 hours, basically.
You know, Lamagna has taken issue with maybe calling them the boys being a little too juvenile. I got to say, this has been full evidence. They are boys and will remain boys. We're rolling back the adulthood. They're boys. They didn't take care of the house rationing yesterday.
Not even a warning of, hey, guys, there's no shampoo or soap. Just so you know, we need this. They said we didn't have any time. I was like, yeah, you needed to be at the course at 8 a.m. on Monday.
They have, you know, the rental car is an ashtray on wheels. It's a Chevy Equinox in name, but it's just an ashtray on wheels. A smoking car. They got it. So just somebody had 18 packs of Parliament lights in that thing before they gave it to us. Can't even get in there. Like, oh, just hit you. And then they had the rental car.
And then the PGA Tour is just, you know, jamming us with access this year. Got this little range pen that I'm supposed to go sit in. That's 150 yards away from the range. It's like I was saying to a PGA Tour staffer, you guys need to put in those little binoculars. Maybe you could put it in. I could put it in quarters, and I could use the binoculars to see who it is on the range.
It is quite dehumanizing. Not just, you know, the world's smallest violin. Let's get it clear here. It is like dehumanizing. It's this little pen that's 8 miles away from the range.
It's so far from the range.
Let me just tell you, they don't need to wall it off because nobody's going there anyways. It doesn't need to be blocked off. Nobody's going there to watch anything anyways. So that was managing the moods early about getting, you know, tried to walk in somewhere. They said you didn't have the right number on your badge. And then the pen. You were incredulous about the pen.
The pen's ridiculous. And I brought it up. I spoke to somebody who's, you know, maybe like partially responsible for the pen. I don't think fully in any way, but part of the decision making. And they were like, listen, like the players, we wanted to put you guys in a spot where you could flag down players and they'd come by. I go, no players willingly stopping by a pen full of media people. That is not happening. They're just going to turn their head and act like they never saw us.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's, yeah, more likely to catch a toe shank there than flag down a player.
Honestly, you know? It's insane. It's imagine, for those that don't know, that we should have taken a picture, should have given a visual. This media pen is effectively like in the place that if you wanted to put somebody to keep them away from like your family, you would put them.
Yeah, we were not thrilled about that situation. Incredulous, to say the least, but we persevered. We got through the day, got a lot of scuttlebutt. We did. Very excited about the Players' Championship, ready to get it fired up.
The good news is March is major, and we're in March.
We are in March. It's major because of the Valspar. Could be major because of the API. Could be major for any number of reasons. You know what? I've been really disappointed in Golf Channel having to cut their own ad with that slogan. Like, why? Just let the tour do that. Let the tour do that. Now the Golf Channel is carrying the water, having their own advertisement with their own voiceover, with their own commercial saying March is now major. I just like, I don't know. We want to start a conversation. They have. That's all we're talking about, or at least all I've seen people talking about.
Listen, I don't want to do anything except start a conversation.
Yeah, the closer. Lee Smith wanted to start a conversation, and we have.
This is like a classic like compliment before the having said that. We just want to start a conversation, but just so you know, we are gung-ho on this becoming a major.
I mean, it was. I don't want to even start there. We don't need to start. I'm kind of over that.
I'm excited about
too.
this golf tournament.
I am too. You know, for a minute there, it seemed like we weren't going to have Rory McIlroy. It seems like maybe we will now, and you know, but still TBD. Could be, you know, walks out Thursday, walks out tomorrow night. It's just nope, not going to work. But for a minute there, it seemed like Rory might not play. You know, you obviously don't have Rahm, you don't have Bryson, you don't have, you know, Tyrrell, Live Boys, Cam Smith, whoever. DJ, I know, one of your favorite retirees.
How many years till DJ's eligible for the senior circuit?
Like 9? It's got to be like 41, 42. And it was like, oh, this is like losing some juice. Like you're focused. What are you relying on? Scotty, who's, you know, had kind of an underwhelming week last week, losing juice. But it feels like we're on the back. We full day there. I'm back fully back in.
I think like what excites me the most, and obviously I'm kind of into golf courses. I'm excited about seeing TPC Sawgrass potentially, if we can skirt around some rain potential on Thursday. Play fiery. I think maybe one of the great things that comes from the March is major slogan is that they realize they've clearly had a meeting to be like, hey, how do we make this a major championship? And to me, one of the things that came out of said meeting behind the moat in one of the many meeting rooms that they have is, well, the golf course has to be set up really hard. And we are seeing super firm fairways, thicker rough than usual, and really firm greens. Like greens so firm that people are like, if this was Monday or if this was Thursday, you'd be like, whoa.
Yeah.
This has been, over the last few years, a freaking pillow. A just soggy mess with, you know, I think the tour ideology has really been around birdies are what fans want. But with this push to be a major, I think they looked at it and said, well, we have to make this place harder. And why that's important for Sawgrass is that the design really comes alive when it's firm. There's so many holes that are built on diagonals, particularly the tee shots, where what makes it unique to a Bay Hill, say, you know, and there's some spots where Bay Hill does this, but just for the most part, like, as opposed to a straightaway hole that's just dead straight. So if a hole's dead straight, you just have to like pick your line and you hit it hard. Sawgrass, almost every fairway moves on either a right to left diagonal or a left to right diagonal. And what that makes you do is you have to pick your line and your distance, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Because if you're too conservative, you run through the fairway with your distance. If you're too aggressive, you don't make the carry number. So it's and when it plays firm, that dynamic gets accentuated as well as approach angles. So this golf course is so much more interesting when it plays firm, and we just haven't seen that since they moved to June. Since they moved to March. That's what I meant.
Yeah, it does seem like that was certainly the early returns from the boys who were on Monday. Today, watching it, the greens are a little more brownish, not brown, but a little tint. I even saw a little bit. I didn't walk every hole, but I saw some on approaches, where the ball was it seemed pretty firm, like skirting through quite with some speed and pace on approaches, getting through that and into the green and deep. So we'll see. I mean, if we get this rain on Thursday, I guess the ultimate final, like if we want to make this hard and make it hard to be a major, are they trying to go to even par as the winning score, like it would be the U.S. Open, maybe tries to or once tried to do? Maybe the ultimate test is if we get this rain on Thursday, do they do preemptive ball in hand, preemptive preferred lies? Do they do preferred lies at all? And if that is just not even considered, maybe we are really going the way of we want this to be real golf. We do want this to be a major. And then that could further kind of boost this concept of let's make the course harder. I would say, and I'm sure this doesn't, float your boat in the similar way that firmness does. It seems like a similar approach to hard or difficult or challenge has been taken with the rough as well. It seems like a lot of players saying this is as thick and deep as they've ever seen it. It seems like it's only going to get deeper. Todd Lewis was, excitedly talking about how he might get to 6 inches by the end of the week. But it's 4 to start. That's the official. And so that, a couple players saying it's just kind of like advance the ball up the fairway for a lot of it, or you're dead if, say missing the green at 9, which is, you got those kind of moguls and humps and bumps. Apparently that is especially juicy, so even if you're on approaches, sometimes you're just moving the ball up the fairway. That takes some skill out of it, like you're talking about, trying to measure distance and line and angle. And then around the green, it seems like we're going to have a little bit of that too. So the rough, in addition to the firmness, seem to be amplified compared to recent years.
Yeah, it should be super fun. And I think like the longer rough should work pretty moderately well here. I think one of the things that I really like about Sawgrass is almost every hole gives you a pretty good amount of space. It's not a course that's got super narrow fairways.
Right.
Some points they choke in where if you want to play a little bit more aggressive, try and take on more distance, it might choke in. But for the most part, you're looking at like, 30, 35 yards of room, which is a lot. We're not talking about U.S. Open type, like your father's
Totally.
U.S. Open where it's narrow, thick rough. Like there's space to drive it well at Sawgrass, and you can conceivably get around it, and probably you feel like you could hit every fairway at Sawgrass. You have to drive the ball really well, but it's not one that gets so narrow in places where it's like, well, this fairway's running away and it's 20 yards wide. I have no chance to hit it.
Yeah.
Like a couple at Bay Hill.
There is this notion of like, if you miss slightly, you get like, you're all of a sudden you're line 3. You're in the water. But I don't think that's the case. There is room. And it's like the guys who are the strikers, even if they're off a little bit, there is a little bit of room to kind of navigate. If you're hitting your, generally within your line and distance, there is room in the best players. It's not like the best player hits a good shot or hits a marginally off shot. It doesn't mean that's in the water. It doesn't mean it's like the best player playing like around his current form is going to be able to play well. It's not like indiscriminately punishing. And I think sometimes that is the notion that it just indiscriminately crushes people because, it takes driver out of people. It's just everybody. It could be Scotty Scheffler. You're going to indiscriminately be punished because he's going to hit one foul, and but it kind of rewards the best players, even if they're like not their very best that hole. Like you are still playing well, and you are rewarded through across 18, across 72 holes.
I think the other, what you're saying too is like Sawgrass is hard. It's very hard, but it's also very gettable. And I think that's one of the other great pieces to Sawgrass and why it probably stands near the top of all PGA Tour courses. I love the variance that Sawgrass produces, where we're probably going to see, with the setup, I would guess we'll probably see a 65 or better, but we'll also see, 80s.
Yeah.
And like to me, that's like something that we need to think about more with golf courses is like, especially with pro golf, is like you want holes and courses that produce significant variance.
Yeah, potential maybe for some wind on the weekends. It's good that the temps are going to dip significantly going into the weekend. Hopeful for some more wind, which could lead us to more, more numbers pushing 80. One thing you talked about with variance, would you consider Sawgrass a short course anymore? Is it like there was always this thing, it's 73. It's pushing, it's not.
It's short.
I know.
I think like anything shy of
70.
I mean, with the modern game, the way it's going, I think anything shy of 8,200 yards is short.
I do think you're seeing people hit driver more here since the move to March.
Since the move to March, I think but if it's fast out there, you're going to see them scale down.
Jump it down. Yeah, I'm wondering. Obviously, I think you and Smartin, and this has kind of been a frequent note, is like you've lost a little bit of the, I don't want to call it flukiness, but randomness of the winner since the move to March. Like the favorites are winning, and that boosts its contention or argument for becoming a major. If you're producing the best players in the world who are the best player in the world that year and that month, and namely like Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy right before he wins the Masters, same for Scotty, that would seem to boost your case as like this is a major championship examination that yields the major winner. And we've kind of seen that pretty much every single year since it returned to March.
The winner list is insane.
Yeah.
It's great. I think I think the way to put it right now with where it is like, okay, if it's not, I don't think it's it's kind of Rory, the way he put it, I think is a good way, is like, I know it's a big tournament, and whether it's a major or not, like it is a big tournament, and there's going to be a ton of gatekeeping around whether it's a major. I think it's, everybody's kind of picking on the PGA right now. The PGA's down. Everybody's kicking on the PGA. But I think our guy Don probably is going to come back from silence and lead a triumphant return.
Recharge. Yeah.
He's just been in the lab. That's why he hasn't been around.
I think honestly, it seems more in vogue than ever to put this golf course under the microscope every single year. Like what has changed, what is different, what looks conditioned. That is indicative of me to a major. Like the over-analysis of the rough strip at 17 or, the tradition unlike any other, more changes to 12 every single year. More
oh, my God, it's so
12.
good.
Or what are the conditions? What is the firmness? What does the rough look like? There's just a constant analysis of the golf course here that I think, and that's sort of the modern media environment as well. There's a lot of bandwagon jumpers about course analysis, course.
It's becoming
insight.
A hot block.
So that's the modern media environment, but I mean, it also lends itself, it makes it more of a major. When you're getting this level of microscopic hoopla around everything that every nip, tuck, tweak, and conditioning choice, that would booster it toward a major.
I loved Scott Sherman's commentary about the changes on 12, and they're just changing it because they know they're going to blow it up in 2 years. So they're just curious to see. I mean, they're effectively, that hole is like just a Steve Wensloff disaster.
It's like putting a big roll of duct tape around I don't know, some gizmo that you need to work for a week, and then you just, because it's going in the garbage, but you just need it to work to see how it goes.
I would like to point out, I think Sawgrass is really good.
Yeah.
They are planning to do a major overhaul in 2027. So after next year's tournament, that is going to bring back a lot of, a little bit more of the eccentricities, I would say, of the greens. A little bit of
more slope.
Yeah, more slope, more character. I mean, the reality of Sawgrass is this is maybe not the most. They brought back the tree on 6 last year, but this is the most sanitized version of this golf course that it's ever been. The tour has molested it.
You love using term molested this day and age. Business Pete is just wondering if he's shaking his head and his hands over there as Andy's lobbing accusations of molestation yet again. Well, I will recommend everybody listen to Scott Sherman on Garrett Morrison's Designing Golf podcast. If you're into the golf course chatter. Scott was amazing on that. Very diplomatic. Didn't use the word molest. Diplomatic. Great reverence for the golf course, its history, its Pete Dye. But you can hear him say, it's had a lot of hands on it.
I mean, what's another way to say that?
No, I walked into that one. It's had a lot of hands on it, a lot of contributors. And so he says very diplomatically, he's talking about 2.4% grade. Like, it's ridiculous. That's not the way you play modern golf. We need to challenge these guys. We're going to put more grade in. Also laughing almost at the ornamentals and all these things that are this goop just taking up all this room in the property that doesn't look natural. I would recommend you listen to that, Sherbert. So it seems like
for our friends in the media, it's always nice when you listen to something and you cite the material where you got it. It's just a common golf. It's just a common courtesy in the media space.
That's a great primer. I know you got a day and a half to listen before the. I would strong. It's not a long listen. He was great in that podcast with Garrett. So I think the point is, it's in a good spot right now, especially if they seem to want to make this harder. And given what could be done to the greens, because they're pretty. That's probably the most boring part of this golf course right now in 2026. Yeah. It's just like kind of hit it to the middle and putt out, or there's just not a lot of.
And if you quadrants. Start to you think about like how that has an impact, it is probably one of the most interesting courses the PGA Tour has. I would say it's the most interesting course the PGA Tour has off the tee. It forces you to hit a lot of different shots, and what I like about it, and I've used this expression before, is that what Sawgrass does is it changes the window of what you're looking at. So it changes the direction it's going, but it also changes like how wide holes are. So often courses, you get like used to what you're looking at. So if it's tree lined and narrow, if you play that course 6 days in a row, it doesn't feel narrow because you've grown accustomed to it. But what Sawgrass does really well is there's some wide holes, and then by mixing in narrow holes, you feel how narrow it is because you've seen wide and you see narrow. And it's kind of like a changing coverages if you're a defensive coordinator, like giving people different looks. And that's one of the geniuses of what Pete Dye does. And that's what I really like about the course. But to your point, the approach shots, the driving, the putting, and the chipping, like the shots around the green, would all be amplified with a little more spunk in the greens. And that's what's super exciting about what they're planning to do.
Yeah.
So
it's just going to get better.
We don't need to talk about 2028 now.
No, yeah. Should we talk about 2028? What will 12
what's
look like?
What's the schedule this week? What are we looking at for coverage times?
You want to do schedule for the week?
Yeah.
All right. I thought you wanted to do event of the week. I figured you would do event of the week. I'm not ready for this.
I was just curious how we watch it.
It's on all day, everywhere, at all times. I don't know. You don't hear much more about the Every Shot live situation that ESPN Plus would do. I don't think that exists anymore.
I think they sent it down. I've got another thing that they seem to have buried.
We'll talk about it. They're buried a lot. I mean, Jay might. I don't know where Jay is. Is Jay still around? Schedule for the week. Is it. The Players' Championship is on from 1 to 7 on Golf Channel on Thursday and Friday, 2 to 7 NBC Peacock on Saturday and Sunday. I think you'll have PGA Tour Live flying throughout the morning, obviously before 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. That's it. Obviously, you have Live Singapore as well, if you want me to shout that out in our golf schedule for the week. You also have the Courier Boys Shootout Classic down in the Sunshine Tour. That might be your event of the week. I'm not sure.
I've got. I love that event.
Courier Guy Playoffs.
The Courier Guy Playoffs, and where is it?
Sunshine Tour.
what country is it in? I think it's in. But in the Serengeti.
Yeah.
I love that event, but I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna give a shout back to the Bay Area for event of the week. It's March is major in college golf, and the Cal Bears are hosting the Desmond Invitational at Lake Merced, the event of the week.
That's good.
It's the first ever DeSimone Invitational
At Merced.
at Merced, Elite Field, Cal, Arizona State, Pepperdine, SMU, USC, Texas. Luke Potter wasn't at the Players this year, unfortunately.
I think that was deliberate. I think there was a reason. They're in California, not in the air. Ran into some good LSU
Wakes
boys
out
today
there
that played the hate around here. The Shotgunners.
Stevens Cup champs.
Yeah. They had great aura about them.
They do. I like the one guy that has the curly hair that wears the sunglasses.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember what his last name is, but
I asked them how the season was going.
They're good.
And they're like, I was just generally, I didn't mean it like in a, it's like, I mean, we're doing, well, it was almost like in a very modest way.
They're like the best team in the country.
They went like Kirk Signetti, like look us up. There's not many people above us. And I didn't mean it like, I just meant generally how you feel and how's the season go. And they're like, yeah, there's not too many names above us, teams above us. I got it. You're good.
LSU's a wagon. Do you think they were
Shout out Tigers.
Came out to watch Deputy Sam?
They were watching Deputy Sam. They were following Deputy Sam. I said, you're not heckling any pros out here like recent college teams, are you? I don't think they got that one totally, but they were following Deputy Sam, boosting their fellow alum.
Oh, man.
Deputy Sam.
This could be a good Deputy Sam week.
You think so?
I mean, one day he's got to get the promotion to sergeant,
One day. He does. All right, so we're pumped about the golf course seems dialed in. What's something else we're excited about?
Do you want five guys to watch?
We can do 5 guys to watch. Let's go to 5 guys. Let's talk about players. We talked about golf course.
All right. Well, we got 5 guys to watch. This is what every podcast is probably talking about, these 5 guys.
Okay.
We're going to start. The order of this is going from least compelling to most compelling storyline. I just want to be clear here. PJ made me go with a preordained order for his little graphics package here. Also, this is a shame. Business Pete's here. We haven't gotten this sponsored yet, but we have Producer Cam. I guess Producer Cam could be brought to you by Optum this week.
Yeah, Producer Cam could be brought to you by Optum.
Do you want to get to Optum while we're here?
PJ nearly had a health scare when the computer crashed as we went live for 30 seconds. Nearly had a health scare. He has Optum in his corner this week. Optum is making the healthcare system simpler, smarter, and more connected. Its capabilities include patient care, pharmacy services, health intelligence, and AI. It's a proud partner of the Players Championship. Rory McIlroy is an Optum Health ambassador thanks to their support of the players and our players' coverage this week. Turn on your producer cam, PJ. Can you flip it?
Look at the producer
flip it
cam
on yourself.
there.
We almost lost you there at the start of the
It wasn't good. It was not good. I'm just happy where we've made it 28 minutes so far. So
and you've got 2 phones going. What is that? You got a mic on your neck on the headset and a headset on your. You got double.
I'm listening to make sure it sounds okay. Right. Kevin Gates. Somebody said I needed a whoop like you to watch.
Yep.
So
you've got the new camera. You got the producer cam. Life's coming up in the PJ world.
All for a show I didn't know we were doing live.
I also heard scuttlebutt from the ground, maybe from your fellow boy, that PJ was quite a popular character on Monday around the Players.
Yeah.
From my fellow boy? Who did you sell me out on?
Joseph.
Is that just players
maybe
players
a top
coming up?
5 player in the world recognize PJ? I don't know.
That did happen. Very, very confused, but that's okay.
Another maybe European Ryder Cupper telling us to lay off. Maybe we were going too hard. Tell him to lay off once in a while. So
well, you know what?
I don't know. Try to call balls and strikes.
We don't pick who we lay off and who we just allow the information we're given, and
just balls and strikes.
Yeah, we just call balls and strikes.
There was one of my favorite moments of the day was a prominent reporter, was about to conduct an interview with an executive from the PGA Tour, walked into the cafeteria, was about to sit down and do it. So he was about to take the table next to me, you, and PJ, and they immediately decided to go outside.
He said, let's go outside.
Started laughing.
We were
over.
right next to the door, which was the best part, too. We were perfectly positioned.
This would not be good to do this chat next to unsubstantiated corner.
You know, speaking of balls and strikes, sometimes it puts you in tough situations in the media center. We got few enemies of the state in the media center.
Of our state?
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's all right.
We'll live.
I mean, everybody just wants to sit around fluffing, patting each other on the back. Then you're not going to get anywhere. You got to try and call it how you see it, or else you have no voice.
You can cite sources too. You can. That's the other thing. That's always appreciated and a nice thing to do as fellow media members.
All right, we've now queued up five guys to
Five
watch.
guys
Yeah,
to
I'm
watch.
going to take producer Cam off. It was good seeing you.
Speaking of five guys to watch. Speaking of Optum ambassador, Rory McIlroy.
Wait, so this was least important to
Least
most?
important.
Rory's least important?
Yeah, I just want to call out. This is going to be Backgate. Backgate is here. He's not playing a practice round. Be ready for lots of commentary about, he didn't play a practice round. We'll see if the back holds up. Who knows if he's going to play? We don't even know if he's going to play right now. It seems like he might be trending towards playing, but this could be like Scotty's neck a couple years ago.
Getting the physio work out on the golf course. I don't know. I mean, if it's a major he's playing, is this another arbiter? Like I mean, Backgate. We're just gonna hear about this nonstop.
The Backgate's gonna be all over the place.
Most tired. I mean,
If he gets in the mix, the back stuff's gonna be insane.
I think we need to hit this. So Rory Backgate. A little bit of over analysis on the golf course from too many people. Major, not a major.
I mean, we just did 20 minutes on the golf course.
Well, that's from the right people, is what I'm saying.
Now you're self-proclaiming we're the right people.
I'm proclaiming you.
You're gatekeeping.
I'm not
gatekeeping who can and can't talk about the golf course. That's like
Andy,
gatekeeping what you can put on your golf bag.
I'm talking about. You have covered golf courses for a decade now. You could talk about this one. We need a thesaurus for scarcity. I'm so sick of people just, media tired cliche about scarcity, and now we got Backgate. Rory, we're over-analysis of the back. It's going to be, I would imagine, a game time trending maybe towards maybe more likely.
Sounds like he's coming on tomorrow. No practice round, maybe?
Harry was out there.
Yeah.
Walking the course, shooting numbers and things like that. Rumors his agent was here, or somebody said it. Somebody tweeted that also. So, preparing to maybe play. So that's Backgate. All right. We'll monitor. Least important guy to monitor, according to the shot.
Backgate is number 5 of guys to monitor. Number 4, we're going to go Justin Thomas. And why he's on here, I don't really expect him to contend. He's working his way back from injury. I just loved that, he's a clothing free agent. And he made it clear that he is open for business. I loved this quote. I love clothes. I love fashion. I mean, this is just screaming out, I'm open for business. Somebody come pay me.
Man, Tommy Fleetwood, similar. It just seems like the fashion discussions are really hot and heavy right now.
Did you see what Fleetwood was wearing player's hat? Were you excited about that?
No, I don't care about it. No, I don't care about this. But I think there is interest. We were talking to somebody in the merchandise center today that said, search traffic around these various brands they're dabbling with and trying is up, and people are coming into the merch center. There's a lot of interest in it.
I do say, I will say, I think there's a very, this would probably make some players upset. This would make some players very upset. Legitimately, how many players are selling clothes based off of what they're wearing? What's the number if you're running a clothing brand? where's your threshold of someone that you're going to actually like pay real money to wear the clothes? Like, how many guys that are there in the world that you think actually drive meaningful sales?
I would say like 15 total, but obviously with the weight of it more towards 6 or 8 or something like that.
And I think JT and Fleetwood are probably two of the guys that would do that.
Yep. Next guy to monitor.
Next guy to monitor. I got two guys on here, so I kind of cheated. Max Homa and Adam Scott.
Ooh, I think I know why this is the case.
I'll be very interested to see if these guys can work their way into contention. I like both of these guys. I am a huge fan of Adam Scott. Watching him do the press conference today, telling the story about like when he was sitting at the bar at a restaurant right down the street from TPC Sawgrass 24 years ago or whatever it was, and some guy being like, asking his buddy who's at the top of the leaderboard, some no name, and he was literally sitting next to him at the bar, and like that story, I love it. He's playing his 24th Players Championship. But how did these guys get in the field, Brendan?
Well, it was points off of sponsors exemptions. They would not be here if not for points earned off of sponsors exemptions at the signature events. And this is from, I want to cite credit sources. I believe this is Eddie Bajak on Twitter, who is documents
good
this
citation
frequently for us.
We have to lead by example.
And sponsors exemptions and points earned off of sponsors exemptions. They would not be in this field if not for the points earned from those sponsors at Riv, I believe, primarily.
Listen, two big names, wonderful players, wonderful people.
Yes, yes.
But, they're keeping international superstar Tom Kim out, who's the third alternate right now.
He is? Is David Ford in? Oh, their third alternate. I get you.
David Ford's number one. Do you know who number two is, PJ?
I believe it's John Perry
from the band Perry,
who one esteemed media member told me has been low key pretty good this year.
He's been high key.
He's made 5 straight cuts and is actually playing decently.
He's good.
Who do you think PGA Tour brass would rather have in the field? David Ford and John Perry, or Max Homa and Adam Scott?
I think we know the answer.
It's definitely option B, right?
Yes.
All right.
So they got they went and earned it, but again, would not have those points if not for a sponsor exemption. Before you go to our next guy to monitor, low key, kind of excited about the more svelte field size this week, 120. Just feels tight. Feels nice. I kind of enjoy it. There's still, we do our little thing of forced tee times. There's not a lot of options. It seems like just a tight, nice tee sheet and field size. 120 this week.
120 is a great number.
Yeah, I like it. I'm happy about that.
It's 120 with a cut is like just a great number for the PGA Tour.
I think it's great.
All right, number 4, second most important story, guy in the field.
Yeah.
Andrew Novak.
Okay.
I'm a little worried about Andrew Novak. He's obviously a fellow podcaster. He's a football podcaster. I'm wondering, has he been? He's a Carolina Panthers fan. They've been pretty active.
Yeah.
They were surprise team of the year last year, probably. Has he been spending too much time researching free agents, reviewing combine numbers, and is that why the play recently? I see MC T48, T47, T38.
Very middling.
Hot stove season in the NFL.
Yeah. He's a unit. God, get up close with him. He's a unit. Absolute unit. He was a big boy.
I think it was really disrespectful when I compared him to Dirt McGirt.
You did? Yeah. I don't remember that. That is disrespectful.
it was I had to apologize for that.
All right. So he's number 2. You're worried about form.
Worried about him. Okay. Number 5. Peach, I'm going to bring you in on this one, too. Has a fellow Hoey head.
It's not good.
Rico Hoey, is it getting late early?
I would say yes. I would say it's pretty late. As two guys who have him going to East Lake.
He's got to get on his horse.
Need a win.
What's happened? I don't understand what's happened.
You know how he kept, a great ball striker, just couldn't putt? Turns out the broom didn't change that.
We were really thinking he was going to be a P Cup guy.
The broom didn't change that. P Cup. He is eligible for both, right?
Richard Hoey.
So many allegations of the anchoring stuff from Sunday was kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of broom putters, I don't want to go back down the Akshay road, but I just didn't understand that.
There was a lot of chatter on the around the golf course about that today.
Yeah.
And the thing that kept resounding, or I heard from a player, was like, if you play with him, it's not even close.
That's the fellow pros seem to suggest like it's very obvious up close, right?
But the screenshots say otherwise.
It's just people shouting about stuff online. Okay,
All
five
right.
guys to monitor.
Five
I
guys
love
to
it.
monitor. Should we
All
go
right.
to tee times to watch?
Yeah, we can do tee times to watch. Are we doing favorite tee times to watch?
Let's start with worst tee time.
Okay.
Peach, do you have a nominee?
For your worst tee time. Nope, he doesn't. He wants us to do something else and continue with ours. I've got several nominees. Stephen Fisk, is this yours?
No. I'm a Stephen Fisk lover.
I'm not against them.
It
Stephen
seems like you are.
Fisk, William Mao, and Joe Highsmith, who I saw up close today. He seemed good. That would be a nominee. I'd say Houghton Lee, kind of, temper tantrum Houghton from a week ago. Marty Doe and Jordan Smith. I don't think they're going to have a ton of people following them.
I mean, when are we going to fire up the game within the game, Smith versus Spieth?
Jordan's versus Jordan. God. Jordan Spieth has been terrible at Sawgrass.
It's part of it is the clothes they put him in.
Oh, come on. That's not part of it.
Do you see what they dress this man in?
He's wearing a hat that appears to be made out of styrofoam.
It's like, what is going on?
I remember that first one, 2014, when he was good. And it was like, oh, he's going to just have a fruitful career here. But he just got beat by Martin Keimer. That's the only time he's even, sniffed anything here. It was that first year in 2014, the Players. So, Smith, who's your worst tee time?
I hate to do this. To my fellow Illini. Brian Campbell, Carl Phillips, and Aaron Rye. I can't get there with Aaron Rye.
He could be a sneaky, I don't know what his odds are.
The pace of
Mid-tier
play.
guy.
This is a great course for Aaron Rye.
Yeah.
But the pace of play, the two gloves, I'm out.
He's tough.
He's
but
so slow.
He's a good pick.
Also, Pavone, S.H. Kim, and Smotherman. That's a tough scene.
Do we know how Pavone's in this field? I was
Because-
talking to somebody today we didn't know.
It's because he's a great player, and Joseph Lamagna will always remember Pavone's run at the Pinehurst.
Former number one player in the world.
Yeah, former.
He's been a disaster this year.
I was stunned
he
to
in?
see him today. I was queuing up our next graphic when you asked me. The Pavone, that was going to be mine. The Pavone.
That last one, S.H. Kim, Pavone.
Yeah.
He's the last guy in via the below top 10 on current year FedEx Cup points.
Okay, whatever that means.
So it was Boshu, Ewert, and Pavone.
AJ Ewert, we're going to learn about AJ Ewert this week.
Yeah, he's got the first timers, the rookies. That's going to be a big morning tomorrow for you and Joseph.
Hopefully.
Who do you guys have your eyes on?
AJ Ewert. I think we need to learn less about Brad and more about AJ.
Are you going to ask him if it's hard to grow up with such a big shadow cast by
We could.
by a
I mean,
father?
the PGA Tour comm staff put together a little packet of notes on every rookie, and Brad is prominently featured in AJ's
Of course
bio.
he was. Can I ask a question?
Please.
What did Matt Fitzpatrick do wrong that he got paired with Lucas Glover and Sammy Valimaki?
You think he's in a different class?
Yes.
I don't disagree.
This is extremely disrespectful to Matt Fitzpatrick.
I mean,
That's a mule pairing with Matt Fitzpatrick.
I think you have Thagala, Ricky, and Spieth together. That's just all sizzle. It's like the first take pairing. Let's talk about the Cowboys quarterback situation, even though they're 4-12.
My question with that group is are they trying to draft popularity off Sahith over to Ricky now?
Oh, interesting. Ricky, I think it's just fine. I think he's doing fine. He's okay. Tea time you'd like?
I love the Got Her Up Minwoo Justin Rose. That's
call that one out.
I might go watch that one.
That's a great trio.
Who do you got?
I like the bridge man, Ben Griffin and Adam Scott, 24th straight player for Adam Scott. Bridgeman, I'm just going to keep putting up in lights. He delivered for me.
This is a good course for Bridgeman.
Yeah.
I think he's a sneaky good pick this week. I love how we're coming out of the gates. Homeless Hubs, Piss Bear, and Mac Meisner.
Piss Bear right out of the gates. I did enjoy that. You
got to get them out there early so there's you lower your risk of anything bad happening.
The Xander Hideki Rory is kind of underwhelming. Hideki hasn't played great, really. I know he had flashed at Phoenix. Xander's sort of up and down. Rory might be hurt. Obviously,
Xander's
if he isn't,
slow too.
Yeah, tough. It's just underwhelming for a marquee group, I feel like. I don't know why. It's just not doing it for me.
Do you think JT belongs in a marquee group?
I mean, no. I feel bad for him. He's with Scotty. He's going to be he just got back from back surgery, right? I think it's a tough spot for JT. What about, Ryan Gerard? Ryan Gerard is just winning the hearts and minds of golf enthusiasts. Ricky Castillo. God, that's a tough group for me. Castillo and Gerard, tough group. They jammed them with the distressed debt investor Cantlay. Two popular youngish players for dyed-in-the-wool golf fans, just with sort of the biggest sort of wet blanket for dyed-in-the-wool golf fans going. Patrick Cantlay.
I was looking at the tee sheet and thinking about this tee time when one of our colleagues in the media said exactly what I was thinking about. Like, man, what a bad group that we got that Gerard and Castillo got.
Yeah.
Like, what a bad setup they got having to be with Cantlay, who, from all intents and purposes, I'm hearing it from a lot of different directions, has been a real menace with the attempted schedule that Brian Rowlett might be trying to push.
Cantlay?
Oh, he's just
fumbling around.
Just an agitator in the boardroom.
I mean, haven't we kind of heard inklings of this now for 5 years? Since this all started?
Apparently, is a massive issue. Just stands in the way of anything and everything.
Well, now he's in the way of Gerard and Castillo with his slow play.
Can I submit one?
What's that?
I like the Pock Eater Nap Sungjae.
This is right where I was going next.
Ooh,
that could be.
One.
There's a lot of boom or bust potential there, up or down.
This
could be terrible, or they could be all three hot at the same time here.
This cannot be a course fit for Pock Eater.
No. We saw him grinding off to the side of 9 yesterday, chipping in the rough, and he was just hitting it all over the place. But just I don't know. What if he just unloads on a couple drives here?
I'll tell you what. One that kind of grinds my gears. Akshay, your winner. Brooks Koepka, sort of re-emerging at the tour's home. And then you get Thanasis. You got Middleton, Giannis, and then Tony Finau in the Thanasis role.
Guys,
why is he getting that?
Guys are all over him. Over Finau.
He just doesn't belong.
You know how many
right now.
That Eddie Baycheck accounting. Tony Finau's accrued about 100 FedEx Cup points via sponsors exemptions.
Really, already this year?
Yeah.
If I were to ask you the group most likely to produce the winner, I think we'd all agree, maybe in this room, or we're confining it to a group, would be Colin Morikawa, Ludwig, and Siwoo Kim. That to me feels like the group most likely to produce the winner.
Can we put out there the tank, JJ Spawn, the Sepp Straka, Septic Tank, JJ Spawn, Shane Lowry group?
Ooh, I like that one. You got Darren Sproles sneaking behind the hole, right?
Yeah.
Open up holes, and then you got to scat back.
I knew you were going to be able to take this one to run.
I love that. God, these guys just walk out and then Spawn tees off third, comes running in between up the field.
Yeah.
Love that.
I knew you'd like that one. I knew you'd like that one.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed that. Thunder and lightning. That is good. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Those are tea times. Any others you want to throw out there?
The last one I was going to throw out there, I think that, I think Mav McNeely has a lot in common with Brian Harmon and Davis Riley.
McNeely. Why?
I just think that that's a natural fit for Mav McNeely, growing up in Silicon Valley.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And playing with two Southern boys.
Southern boys, yeah. Probably a little different. Those are tea times. We'll do our pick to win at the end. We'll close it out with that.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's coming here to see who we're touting our picks.
Yeah.
We'll save it to then, so they have to listen to the whole show.
I love that. You got to grind it out.
You know what? A bad tea time that we did not mention: Emiliano Grillo, Grumpy Grillo, Bezaden out, and Max Grazerman.
Tough one for sex appeal. But I don't dislike Grazerman or Seabez necessarily.
Well, Seabez has been holding the President's Cup team back for decades.
Oh, come
now.
on. He made it fair and square. That's not right. All right, so we talked about the golf course, some players. Should we talk about we have a press conference getting preview articles. What could happen in this press conference? People are that excited, interested, worked up. Brian Rolap is going to speak at the Global Home on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You may be listening to this by then. I don't know. We will have crossed the drawbridge if we're still permitted, and we will be attending. I think almost for the exclusive lifetime of this podcast, every time we've come to the players, there's been some massive undercurrent of drama, tension, uncertainty. It's just never been about holy shit, what is this championship going to be about this week? It's coronavirus is about to shut us down. Or what is the tour doing? It's where's Phil? Legacy, not leverage. It's we're creating the mule tour and the signature where the mules are all really, really angry. Now is Jay getting relieved of his duties last year? What's the SSG happening? It's just almost very, very frequently there's this tension around the grounds, permeating around. And when the balls fly on Thursday, it'll change. I can't believe how just sort of, I don't want to say it's not negative, but this Rolap press conference is lording over the grounds this week. And I think
it seems to be lording over the rank and file PGA Tour players' minds on a daily basis also.
Everybody seems to think they know what he might say, but they don't know what he might say. You've got agents we're just waiting. You've got tournament directors waiting for the man to talk tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. There's is the scarcity schedule going to come out? Is he going to cut cards? Is he everybody's just wondering what's going on. I've never and typically it feels like more people would be sort of informed on what's coming, but it's honestly the event of the week right now. And I'm sure that'll change come Sunday night. I can't believe how prevalent it is on everybody's mind. And I don't think anybody knows as much as they say.
One thing you didn't mention that I anticipate coming tomorrow.
What's that?
I think he is going to hammer the idea of rollback. He is going to hammer the idea we are not rolling back the ball. I think he needs a W, and he's going to hammer that.
So he's not doing necessarily out of personal belief of what's best, but he needs a W with what? Political capital?
Political capital with the rank and file.
Isn't that a shame?
Well,
that it's being used as a political football?
He might believe it too.
I don't know. Such implications, far-reaching implications for the recreational game, the cost and efficiency of the game that's being used in this sort of boardroom negotiation. That would be a shame if that were the case.
It seems like a tough situation with the rollback right now. Wherever you stand on it, it sounds like a mess. You've got it seems like the PGA Tour will be coming out vehemently against it. You've obviously got the PGA of America entrenched in their stance. You may have the most powerful man in the country, opposing it. So yeah, it's a tough spot. And then obviously you have the worst actors of all titleists in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that may be a theme. A big one is the scarcity schedule. Tournament directors are on edge. Are we getting cut? Are we getting chopped? What my suggestion or our suggestion today was that you should use the press conference like an episode of The Bachelor, have the tournament directors lined up in the front row and start handing out roses for tournaments and events that make the cut and others that don't. I'm sorry. We'll see you out. Apparently he's telling, like, nobody's, like, these events are paying $25 million, and it's just like, I understand your money is here. It's just we don't need it, or it's not in the best interest of the tour. So he should just hand out roses like an episode of The Bachelor to events, because that's where the tournament directors, a lot of them are these days. They might think they're getting a rose, had a good date, got good assets,
had a good meeting with the tour, think we're set.
I think we're good.
And they just have to wait for Brian Rolapp to be like, Travelers Championship, please come get your rose.
Right. Others maybe didn't get an opportunity, didn't even get a one-on-one or a speed date or whatever the hell they do.
Bay Current's just in the background.
Bay Current.
just knows they aren't getting a rose. You know, they would cut to an interview of like, I've just been dying to get time with her, but I haven't been able to.
So this is what Rolapp needs to do tomorrow. Stand up there in the glow ho. I heard recent PGA Tour employees hate the term glow ho, and that it's called the global ho. So that's maybe what we'll get. Do we have any sense?
I bet they hate that it's just a spitballing type of title for the global home.
It is. Do we think we'll get we won't get roses. Do we think we'll be like, this is on the schedule, this is off? I don't think we're going to get that level of detail in a press conference.
I don't think we're going to get vague details in it. You know, from what I've been kind of gathering over today, is the ambitions of 2027 might be out of the window because of the cruise ship is just proving to be harder to turn than ever before. The rudder might have broken while they were trying to turn it, and it might have been broken by competitions people within the tour.
Any competitions? Okay. Like some of the
sounds like there's problems. There's issues.
Okay.
Former rules officials that have gained power are quite problematic.
Oh, all right, tennis and menace. All right. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's, I'm hearing that it might take a little bit more time than initially expected. But
so you got
we're gonna hear it tomorrow.
Yeah, I know a perspective I did hear, and not to. We're getting perspectives from all sides here. We're
all sides.
We are trying to just gather information, call balls and strikes. One perspective is like, never has an entity with such a minority stake
does that mean SSG?
SSG has 11%, 12% equity, had such disproportionate power in the form of board seats, influence, and that it would be akin to a minority owner of whatever, sports franchise being able to kind of wield too much power. That's a competing view. Now, one might suggest they're the right guys to pull the levers, and we shouldn't be steering the cruise ship into the iceberg, continuing to sail.
The other thing I might bring up was they, when you took the money, it was kind of desperate times.
Yeah,
and you needed the money,
and you're giving away some control.
And this is kind of the give and take of taking money on, is that you lose control sometimes, especially if you're desperate for money like they were.
To fend off a potential existential threat.
Yeah. And so, it's easy a couple years later, as LIV has dissipated a little bit, to be like, you know what? They shouldn't have all this say. But a couple years ago, it was an existential crisis, and this was a thing that was saving the tour.
Yeah.
And it's easy to forget,
Yeah.
as times are good again on the PGA Tour. But I don't know.
And obviously they took it from some personalities, big time sports owners that aren't told like how to, aren't having Patrick Cantlay like gum up the works very much, right? A Cohen, there's a interesting day, I guess, for the Cohens, but there's a Cohen kid. There's the Fenway group. There's Arthur Blank. These are big personalities, and so they're going to want power, even if maybe you think they don't have enough equity to wield the board power that they do. Okay, so we could hear a range of events.
Could be
Somewhere in the 20 to mid-20s, I think. You could hear that tomorrow.
Could we get a over-under on the preamble, how long the preamble is?
Before taking some questions? It's a good one.
How long's the filibuster?
Will he do the Jay Monahan fake smile, read it? Where it prompts him to smile. Remember the script that said look up and smile last year?
I don't think he's going to need that.
So that adds time to the preamble, right? That counts.
What's a common sentiment around that I've heard from multiple people?
What's that?
Is, this guy's learning this isn't the NFL where you just get to say whatever you want to do and push everybody around.
Interesting. That's a notion.
Yeah. It's wild to me that like these tour players and the everybody around the tour aligns on the idea, but the second there's any change, it's like, you know what? This isn't for us. And they all revolt.
Speaking of NFL guy pushing people around, it's my understanding feathers have been justly ruffled with him bringing the NFL Films crew to do the documentary instead of just Tour Studios to do this. Is it Chasing Sunday is the name of it? We were told who's in it. We're not going to spoil. We'll let them do that.
PGA Tour Studios is busy with the drop.
But I think like Brian or some roll-up or something is like, I want NFL Films. You guys, they're going to do it. And Chasing Sunday, and we're not going to leave it to Tour. Or it's a mix. It's a hybrid model. So over-under preamble.
We have Brentley in the YouTube chat suggesting 4:55.5.
4 minutes or hours?
I think that's way over.
Oh God, I was thinking like 18 and a half.
Okay.
I was thinking like 13.
Yeah, I was going 10 to 15 somewhere in there.
That's the line.
I mean, if this was the USGA preamble, that's like 35
That's
minutes.
a long time.
Well, that's Juan is good for 25 himself, right?
And it's all just patting themselves on the
All
back.
right.
All right, so
I'll go 11 and a half minutes.
over.
Okay.
Over.
Joseph, over under 11 and a half minutes preamble before he takes a question.
I'm going under.
Okay.
All right. You think
efficient.
Economy
of words.
a wise man once told me about any sort of speech. Brevity is the key to any great speech.
Yeah. I mean, think about the worst best man speeches you've ever heard. They're
long.
always the ones that guys that just go too long.
Best man. Let's talk about the maid of honor. The maid of honor speeches can be horrendous. And that's how we met. And then I met Brian. And let me tell you, it was a beautiful 72-degree sunny day. And Alyssa
God.
wore this pink top that I'll never forget. And I'll never forget.
I feel bad. It's hard. It's hard to give a speech. You do a podcast. It comes natural. Some people, the worst is when they break out the physical piece of paper and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to the bar. Give me a drink. Then they're holding the paper. And they're probably nervous. And they're just reading.
I did a talk this winter somewhere, and I was coordinating with someone, and I was like, listen, I don't do speeches. This has to be a Q&A. I do not do speeches. And the guy introduced me, and I get up, and he shakes my hand and walks away into the crowd.
Oh, no.
And I was like... in my head, I'm like, well, I guess this is going to be a speech.
Yeah. That's tough. All right, so 11 and a half minutes is what we're going to give roll up. Anything else? Any other great insight? I mean, this honestly has the whole place on pins and needles. And we're talking people with power, influence, otherwise think they're in the know usually, typically, and they're not. It has the whole place on pins and needles. Anything else you think we need to consider? We'll be
I'm
there.
hearing the number for exempt player. Like, the one thing I'm hearing is like, so they've been the range of players that are exempt has ranged from like, under 80 all the way to, on the flip side, like the push was like 150.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's settling around 120. Maybe 100, 120 though would be my guess, and then it would be 30 up, 30 down every year.
Yeah.
And the dream is no exemptions.
Tough scene. Adam, Scott, and Helma might not be in this week.
Yeah,
Well, who knows how they'll do that?
But the no exemptions I think does work if you're there, because if you can't finish in the top 90 on tour. I mean, like, you look at some of these seasons to finish in the top 90, it's like, God, like, we did this.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you finished like top 15 3 times.
It was interesting to hear Brooksy talk about, like, I kind of maybe sometimes know the people who are getting the exemptions off of the mule exemptions. He was like, and he's he's not the most locked in. He's sort of aloof and goes his own way, but like. Yeah, it's not the most rigorous threshold here.
No.
What is the Brooks mule? What is the situation? Brooks, who are the mules he led across the arc and the most lucrative arc?
Turn that Optum producer cam on.
Thank you to Optum for allowing me to be part of this podcast. I haven't been on this podcast much recently.
Yeah.
You've been just
beak.
butting your beak, not being around.
It's open for interpretation if we were wetting our beak, as it turns out.
Yeah.
It was General Patton for sure was the first alternate, and I'm pulling up the second now. I too afraid
General
to touch
Patton.
the
Seamus.
computer.
I think it was Seamus.
Seamus Power. That's who it was.
So it's Power
Those are
and
the two.
Patton versus
as of right now.
Brooksy.
Now, if like Rory WDs and David Ford gets in, it'll be Ford and Power because Kazire would be the first alternate. But as of this writing, it's General Patton and Seamus Power.
Man, Patton and Power, like, they've won some stuff.
Yeah,
they've won
they're
real
like
stuff.
real players.
I mean, I don't know if they're mules.
Patton.
Well, it's
If
early.
they
It's only
talk
March.
like a mule, and win events like a mule, they're a mule. I mean,
All right.
He's Mr. October.
That's fair. That is true. All right, so that'll be good. Well, he's going to talk Wednesday morning, 10
Pat
a.m.
Kazire as an amateur and a junior was a problem.
I can imagine.
Like, he was a problem.
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
Probably pins and needles with Bruce Pearl about Auburn's tournament case. Patton Kazire, he's got that on his mind this week. All right, that's the mule accounting. Anything else from Wednesday press? I think we're good. We've covered it. It's big deal, though. Big deal, more than normal. Just can't overstate how much, like, just the instant golf tournament remains to not be the story really that much, at least until maybe Thursday afternoon. All right, should we do any storylines to watch? Storylines nobody's talking about to watch.
We're not going to dabble in the can Scotty win his third players? Could Rory win his third players? I think we all know what the basic storylines are. We should do. I'd prefer to do one of our favorite segments. Storylines nobody's talking about. Why don't you lead us off?
I'll lead us off with the great the betting blockade that's going on here. Now, nobody has run into the arms of the great OBOs, official betting operators, with more lust than the PGA Tour. Just run into the arms of FanDuel, DraftKings, I believe PointsBet at one time, but before that went kaput. They just love their OBOs. Well, guess what? They've got sports books at Phoenix. They've got it wherever they can, Memphis, wherever they can do it. They just have them. We're sitting next to some FanDuel people this week. Not everybody, not all the bettors, but some FanDuel. But guess what? In Florida, their home, their biggest event, Blockade by the Seminole Tribe. Hard Rock Bet owns all rights for anything in Florida. They can't do a single drop of FanDuel stuff out there. Nothing. You got Gronk and Kay Adams, but nothing. Can't put a single shekel, dollar, cent, peso anything via their OBOs. Thanks to Hard Rock Bet totally jamming them with the betting blockade, which I kind of find hilarious.
I didn't know I was going to come into this week and just love Hard Rock Bet for some reason, but I love that. My question is, do you think the tour got jammed or did they jam themselves?
They got jammed by Hard Rock Bet between a Hard Rock and a place.
All right,
go ahead.
Here's a storyline nobody's talking about. Last year, we got one of the great photos of all time with Brooks Koepka and Talora Gooch walking into their champions dinner for two for Live Singapore.
This is so stupid.
My question is, will there be a champions dinner this year at Live Singapore with Joaquin Niemann and Talora Gooch? And will Brooks zoom in?
Seems like a tradition. They've already done it once with 2 people only. Why can't we do it 2 again? Maybe one virtual, make it 3 with Brooks from Jacksonville.
Brooks zooms in.
Yeah,
Missed you guys. Catch up with Talora about what he's planning with roster moves.
Hey, you guys want to hear a major or not a major discussion? You can go somewhere else. This storyline is what we care about. What's going on with the Live Singapore Champs dinner? I love that. Another one. Has Jay been sunsetted like Gold Boy? Where is Jay?
I saw him at TGL like a week ago,
All right.
2 weeks ago.
Well, this is where he would be the king of the court, holding court all week, completely absent. He's been absent at TGL. Get the hell out of here with TGL.
Do you think he saw the stock market on Monday morning and just got on the jet?
Getting out of Dodge, just had seen the red before. Oh, it must be Players Week. I've not taken the shrapnel anymore. I'm out of here.
Getting out of town. I can't be around this again.
It's incredible how absent he's been, even in a ceremonial role. It does sound like he will be present for various trophy presentations and things. A lot of rumors flying around about the substantive golden parachute he's getting. I don't know. I think his deal's running out like 26 too. So Jay's gone the way of Gold Boy. R.I.P.
I got a great little story from today. This happened a few years ago. We'll call it, for better or worse, a number of years ago.
Okay.
But a new partner came on board, and the partner thought that they were the actual person that awarded the trophy to the winner. So the representative,
like all the way up until going up on the stage,
they got up there and asked, "When do I give so and so the trophy?" And the person they were sitting next to was like, "We just sit here."
That's like when Sprite gives out the slam dunk, or the Kia guy, like the regional sales Kia guy gives out the slam dunk. They thought they were giving out the players strip.
Yeah.
God, that's great.
Oh, this is my favorite part about being a tournament.
Yes,
just getting the
Goofy
tails.
stuff. Yeah. Good.
Storyline nobody's talking about. I feel like we got disrespected in the media center this week.
What happened?
There seems to be a gambling area of the media center where you have the great gambling, our fellow colleagues in the gambling space, and we are not there.
We're with Gen Pop.
We're with Gen Pop.
That's unfortunate. We got FanDuel. We do have FanDuel flanking.
We're actually directly next to FanDuel. I don't know if that's Gen Pop. It's not the gambling section, but
FanDuel can't do anything this week thanks to Hard
no,
Rock.
they're locked in.
I did talk to a friend of the program, Keith Stewart. Read the Line, a gambling podcast. He gave me some advice. He said, here are some lines that you might want to institute. Is when a guy wins that you didn't pick, you say, "Well, he was number one in my model. I just couldn't get there this week." So this is something that we might want to employ as a gambling podcast.
We've got the data. I've got the right read. I just didn't go there and say it out loud. All right.
All right. Next up on these storylines, we only got a couple left here.
Yeah.
Where's Wallace situation from The Wire? Where is the AI course setup tool? The Morgan Stanley AI course setup tool was all the rage last year. I haven't heard anything about it since Last Players.
Nothing. Nothing. Not a single thing. This is what they do. They roll out all their gizmos and gadgets, and then you never hear from them. You know what we got this week? A golf membership with pass. Not golf pass. It's about PGA Tour. It's PGA Tour pass. Exclusive content, access, this, that, and the other. So now we have golf pass and PGA Tour pass. We could be sitting on this couch. We're not getting this Airbnb next year.
Definitely not.
We could be sitting in our live show next year and be like, where's PGA Tour pass? It's gone the way of the AI course setup tool. RIP. AI course
All
setup
right, two
tool.
left here.
All right. Is that me now?
Yeah.
On me? All right. One more for me. Like LeBron and Steph and Michael, it's just on a first-name basis. Team WAS, as they used to call themselves, is now just the team. So this time last year, again, like Jay, Players Week can bring some tough times. This time last year, there was like the lawsuit that Shoepak reported on and guys leaving, and there was like some drama. Everybody was whispering about talking around the grounds like, oh, what's going on? This year, they're just full-on rebranding. So Players Week, bringing tough times for Team WAS is now just the team. So don't know if, that's the big golf age. I don't think it's changing much about their operations, losing clients, nothing like that. Just now known as the team. First name basis only. Team WAS, now just the team. What else we got? Storylines that nobody's watching about.
Pray for the team.
Pray for the team. Don't get through it.
Last storyline that nobody's talking about. Overheard this on the putting green. Piqued my interest. Great anecdote. Did aim point kill the plumb bob?
I feel like yes. You don't see it that much. I need JB Holmes back on tour. The plumb bob prince.
I feel like the plumb bob, I never understood it. I could never
No.
do. One of the reasons I couldn't, because I don't know which eye dominant I am, and anytime somebody tries to explain it to me, I still can't figure it out. But the plumb bob's just gone. Nobody plumb bobs anymore.
No. I need an avant-garde soul to come in, not give a crap about all this pace of play, and do aim point and plumb bob. Double dip. Maybe their mind's a blunder. They do both. Just go both. Double dip. But I think it is dead. You don't really see it anymore. Storylines, what is it? Storylines nobody's watching for.
No, storylines that nobody's talking about.
But damn well they're storylines. All right, what else do we got? Should we make our picks?
Should we bring the boys in?
Boys, you have odds and ends. PJ, I gave you some notes to write down.
Come down here in the middle.
Come sneak in the middle. We don't have throw pillows with decorative phrases on it this week. We do have a sign that just says best day ever. Tell you what, if you're in this Airbnb, there's no way it's the best day ever.
I think this Airbnb is made for PJ and Joseph to come down for a bachelor party and just destroy the place. I mean, the walls look like it's been through like a frickin' war in here.
There's a fence post missing right there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot missing.
In the bathroom I'm using, the towel rack's been ripped out.
Oh my God.
It's no family is forever throw pillow.
It's not that.
Oyster. No, it wasn't Oyster Bay. I don't even remember.
On Long Island there. How was the day?
Monday?
Both days.
Besides the boys catching constant arrows for things that I think the way you set up the Airbnb not being prepped for you was a little unfair. PJ and I arrived late, midnight at the Airbnb Sunday night, and then the next morning rushed right to the golf course to get as much scuttlebutt as we could for you guys. And we come back to complaints about there not being shampoo. That is some pampered behavior.
Maybe you guys just take this for granted. If I'm first in, I go to the grocery store. I set the house up. I get
what
stuff
we're gonna do at
up.
midnight?
You had all the next day. You had the entire next day.
You were grinding.
We're here to do the golf.
All right. The Publix opened at 7. It would have taken 15 minutes to get over there and get some shampoo and soap.
Well, at that point, we didn't know there was no shampoo and soap. We hadn't gotten in the shower yet.
No, when I got here at 4 p.m., the shower had been used.
I did know that there was no shampoo at that point, PJ. I did.
Wow.
I didn't. I was still asleep at 7 a.m.
Well, this is
for sure.
this is ignorance that could have been fixed. And you know what else? Where you can't be ignorant is getting your
he's so
yardages
good.
either, and that could be
He's
fixed
so
with
good.
Cobalt.
Oh, he is
Cobalt
so good.
rangefinder
Hey,
as well.
can I a little story time.
Yeah.
So I had my Cobalt on the bag.
hoping
I'm
it was
playing
about Cobalt
I'm
after
playing
this.
a member guest in Florida. We have caddies all week, and they were using their guns. And on the last hole, we were trying to figure out if my ball went in the bunker. We were coming down the stretch, high intensity closing stretch. Did my ball go in the bunker? And they're looking through their rangefinder, so they're like, I don't know. I was like, oh man, the Cobalt's on the bag. I pull it out. I'm like, you guys, this rangefinder has optical zoom, and they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I can zoom in 12x. And I zoomed in and could see the ball that they couldn't see. And I handed it to them, and these professional caddies, pro jocks, were like, this is amazing. This is the best rangefinder I've ever used.
Go. You can get one at cobalt.com, cobalt-golf, cobalt-golf.com. Use the promo code FriedEggPod15.
It's a big promo code. Fried Egg Pod 15.
Fried Egg Pod 15. No spaces, just one word there. Fried Egg Pod 15.
Numeral
50%
15. Don't spell it out.
15. Cobalt-golf.com. PJ, put this in the show notes. So after that,
it'll be in the show notes.
So just the URL's right in there.
To take Brenda's word, this is a no bullshit story.
No bullshit.
All right.
Everybody in the group looked through it, and everybody was like, where do you get this?
Do you think you would be able to make out which golfer is on the range at TPC Sawgrass from the media pen with a Cobalt?
Oh,
I should have brought the Cobalt down for next year. I'll bring it down for the media pen, and then I'll be able to get a real distance measurement of how far away they are from me.
I got all these talking points about all the technology it has, but I think that story suffices. All the fast
He
flag
said
lock
12X.
technology.
We're good.
Yes. All right. Go cobalt-golf.com.
Dude, the zoom is revolutionary. It's so good.
All right. Love it.
All right. It'll
What
be in
else
the
you
show
got?
notes.
What other notes do you have? PJ thinks they're stocking the 18th pond with fake alligator.
I didn't say that. I said it's a real alligator, but I am convinced maybe they took it from elsewhere and just dropped it in the pond to have an alligator in there
For the content.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
Dude, do you
What
think
if-
they would not do
But,
that?
like, can we go back to Toasty Jump getting pushed into the water last
Oh
year?
my God.
And there were alligators in there?
I don't think there are alligators in that thing.
Well,
What-
that's why they dropped it in.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing was swimming around all day. Go ahead.
I mean, do you think they took the one from Bay Hill?
That thing was a dinosaur. That wasn't an alligator. That thing was ginormous.
They put it in the back of like the tour truck and just drove it up here.
I
and
think the
dumped
one I saw today at least was significantly smaller.
When I was driving through Central Florida the other day, I there was like an old sign that was like trophy alligator hunter.
Hell yeah.
I was like, this would be an interesting guy. That might have been the guy that the city of Chicago hired to get the 2-foot alligator out of Humboldt Park Lake.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That was like a citywide crisis for a couple weeks.
I remember that.
God, what was the name of the alligator?
Joseph doesn't know why he's here right now. Why we brought him?
I know exactly why I'm here.
What other notes you got from the ground?
We got a lot of notes. We did well.
How do you
This
do you
is the
fancy
era-
Pavon this week?
I don't think I'm a
come
Pavone
on.
guy this week. This is the era of Lucas. Apparently, there's a new setup guy in town. Don't know. Taking over for Jeff, Lucas is setting up the golf course at TPC Sawgrass this week.
Glover.
Don't know the gentleman's last name. It's not Glover. My question to you is, what are the chances the tour actually pushes the setup? Are we going to be disappointed when they put a bunch of water on this golf course?
It just depends if players complain at the check-in at the Marriott. You know, hey, I'm used to white sheets. These are blue. The thread count's a little bit lower than the other Marriotts. The other Marriotts being the
Who would
the
have
other
that
courses.
figured out? Luke Donald would have that figured out. He would have the thread counts way up and all the shampoo. He wouldn't go without shampoo at an Airbnb.
This is getting to the attention of the entire tour right now.
Yes.
Are the players or is the SSG by wanting to make this a major or make it feel more major-ish going to win out, or the players be able to put their thumb on the scale and say, by complaints and hysterics and Zach Johnson style antics, if we've lost the golf course, be able to, force change between now and call it Sunday night.
Zach is riding
This is
high.
the whole game. This is the whole undercurrent of what the tour is facing right now.
Zach might be able to come in and throw some weight around as the defending champion of the James Harden Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational.
Do you think Zach should get an exemption in here?
No.
Joseph and I were saying that if you win a Champions Tour event, maybe you should get into this.
So in addition to setup, what are things that could make this more of a major? Make this like a major?
I have already said if they lose the golf course, I will call it a major. If they full on have an interview with the player just losing his mind, I'll concede. I'm in.
I think they should mistreat media more.
How?
Wait, majors
No,
don't-
majors are
probably treating us a little better than the pen
yeah.
that they gave us. Right?
I mean, if they could reduce access in any way, that could be a way to make it a major.
It needs an app with locations of where
Yes.
the players are,
Yes.
like a U.S. There's no app. There's nothing.
I was disappointed when I opened the PGA Tour app because I heard about all the awards it won right after it got released.
Yeah.
That there's no really robust in-app experience for when you're at a golf course.
Yeah. They're getting there. There's all sorts of technology that they announced about that, but I'm not seeing it yet.
Tour pass.
I haven't signed up for Tour Pass yet.
Maybe you'll get it there. Do they need more past champions in the field? The exemption, do they need Craig Perks playing the role of Sandy Lyle at the Masters? They need Tim Clark, others like that to be a real major. Then you lose the deepest field in golf thing. So what else? What else do you think? Can it be a major, Joseph?
I think canceling the Creator Classic was probably a step,
It's a step in the right direction.
I
It's a
think
plus.
I don't think you can have the course closed down the Wednesday night before and be a major. So I think that was a good step.
Here, do you think you can have a Ludacris concert on the 17th hole?
Yes.
The week of the concert. Or
I've
the
had
week of
multiple texts and tweets saying I needed to break into the live show. I'm sorry to everybody that I didn't do that, but I needed to break in to let everybody know that he ran back Baby by Justin Bieber because it was such a hit the first time he played it back to back.
I mean, yeah. I was very peculiar watching the patrons walk in, march into
there
the
was
Ludacris.
traffic for hours.
I was like, are they going to watch the Ludacris concert?
I
It
mean,
was an
some of the-
interesting dynamic.
Some of those people weren't going to make it on time.
No.
I feel like the Ludacris concert should be at 7 p.m. too. Why don't they do it when it's getting dark out?
What else do you have from the games, from the day? Notes? What else do you have in your notes, PJ? Any other amusing things? The meeting in the cafeteria?
Unsubstantiated rumor about the Bay Hill Monday Pro-Am.
Oh, this is good.
So in the Monday Pro-Am, I guess they do the draft, the people paying
who paid for the spot,
who they want to play with. Apparently, we were well into the draft at this point, and two people were on the draft board. Ted Scott and Jordan Spieth were both on the draft board simultaneously, and Ted Scott was selected ahead of Jordan Spieth for the Monday Pro-Am.
That's tough.
I can't even comment on that.
Unsubstantiated rumor.
God.
There's no way that's true.
Well,
I don't know if I believe that. I heard that a couple times over,
it's our
though.
job to report unsubstantiated
All right.
rumors.
I mean, that would go against everything we've ever been told about Jordan Spieth and
Yeah,
fans.
True. Ted Scott.
Another, I would call it substantiated because we saw it with our own two eyes. The Bay Golf Club not sold that Tom Sims ace was legit.
They're
Not sold and discussing it publicly.
Sour Grapes got bounced by Jupe Links, now suggesting it wasn't.
Windy and Shane Lowry on the range, and Windy, I don't remember the exact quote, but the gist of it was, they're making putts, that's one thing, but when it goes in on the screen and he throws his hands up.
Just asking questions.
Just asking questions.
As PJ commented, Wyndham not always accepting of a result.
There might be multiple results that Wyndham has questions about.
All right.
I just would like to also point out Tom Sims should be the first alternate again.
You really want him in this field.
Well, that's another great game within the game. Does he stay on the weekend to practice for the upcoming TGL match? If he used Bay Hill as practice for TGL.
No, cog, not bait.
Cog. Yeah,
Lamagna, what are you most excited about?
the golf course.
Yeah. What echo Andy? What do you start with?
Yeah, I mean, you guys covered it, but it is bouncy.
Yeah.
And guys were borderline uncomfortable with it. I don't think we've seen a PGA Tour event where guys are actually uncomfortable with the setup
in
a really long time.
Maybe Riviera a few
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago, like
That's a good one.
when the greens were like glass.
Classy.
Yeah.
Should we do picks? Should we make some picks?
I was gonna pick Rust Bus, and now I saw that he used them.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you used them at Sony.
Yeah, I forgot about
that's
that.
not good for
I
you.
think, it's an interesting event to cap. And, this is our job, and this is what we focus on first and foremost. Touting, capping, modeling. A lot of names that maybe aren't the sexiest. They're sexiest maybe for the golf fans who are watching and understand their game. Not the sexiest maybe for the NBC mainstream audience just wanting to watch Island Green come Sunday night. People like, I don't know, Jake Knapp, Si Woo. We talk about all these guys getting into two players. He joined the 2 players club with Scotty and Rory, and now it's
Nothing
Si
would
Woo.
scream major like that.
He could be up there. Minwoo Lee. Very hot this week. Hot name, Minwoo. Played well. He's been here before in a number of final groups, top of the leaderboard going to the weekend. Minwoo Lee. I'm taking an unsexy name to win it on Sunday night. I'm taking the Tank rumbling, opening holes for JJ the first 2 days, and then taking over on the weekend. I'm going with the Septic Tank, Sepp Straka, biggest person golf, put it out on the line, already hit with Bridgman, hitting again this week with Septic Tank, lifting the Goldman Trophy on
I can't
Sunday
believe
night.
you just said that because I'm doing the exact
Are
same
you?
thing.
I said that this
You're
morning
taking
in the
the tank.
ashtray
Taking
card.
the tank.
Okay, all right.
Taking the Tank, I kind of want to change, but I had my whole spiel ready to go. I was going to complain that I don't have the soundboard set up yet, so I can't play them rumbling
All right.
through.
2 tanks, 2 Septic
2
Strakas.
tanks.
All right.
I played well last week. Kind of Tank flipped on Sunday, but
The Tank.
good result the last 2 times around here.
Tank hit an IED,
Yeah,
lost its, got off its
Tank
track.
might have flipped on Sunday.
All right.
But he's still alive, back on the horse.
Okay. Lamagna, any serious not launch shot, but mid-tier picks and then a favorite? I mean, Morikawa is the favorite, it feels like, amongst most people.
Well, yeah.
Not on
besides
paper,
Scotty,
but yes.
besides
but
Scotty.
yes.
If I did not use Morikawa already, I absolutely
Yes.
would.
Okay.
Somebody I think is interesting within the spirit of this podcast. Kurt Kitayama is playing
Project?
He's playing really good golf right now.
What do you mean by the spirit of this podcast?
Well, the kitty cat is a
Okay,
favorite on
all
this
right,
podcast,
all right.
like Septic Tank.
Okay.
I actually think Kurt Kitayama is pretty live to
Yeah.
win this golf
Okay.
tournament.
That'd be good.
God, it's definitely not a
phrased it.
major if Kitayama wins.
Well,
it.
that's I want the winner
Is that the
to
worst
scream
case?
it's not a major.
Worst case scenario for the.
Oh, no.
For the
We've
tour?
discussed worst case scenario.
What's the worst case scenario?
I said Jordan Smith because people would think Jordan
I mean, that's not
Spieth
gonna
won.
happen. Okay, like
You asked worst case scenario.
I asked if John Perry was in the field.
Not yet, but he's
playing
low-key
well.
hot.
Okay. Kitayama's live. Per
Yeah,
Justin.
serious pick, Colin. Andy, have to give you your flowers. You called the Colin Morikawa comeback
right.
in the fall. I was skeptical. I think you overstated it on the Fried Egg Pod how skeptical I was, but I was skeptical. I took some arrows on that one too. But I think Colin, God, if Scotty's a little off, I think Colin is clearly the favorite with Rory's back. So official pick, Colin.
there's a lot of water here. I'm looking at somebody that's played a lot of golf in the southeast and knows how to navigate water. The bridge man. The bridge man.
Oh, God.
I've got the bridge man available. I like the bridge man here.
Wow. Come to this podcast, you get a bridge man, 2 septic tanks,
And the
a
favorite.
kitty cat, and a Colin. I love that. Love that. We're going to Business Pete, do you have a pick you could say off camera? You want to throw anything more mainstream out there? Like he's racking his brain.
He had a rough
he's been
day.
crunching
He
the
had a
numbers.
Bad Uber ride and long
Not a big fan of
walk in.
Airbnb, I don't think.
He came to the tournament. He was there for 30 minutes before he hopped back in the car with us.
Pretty good. All right. Anything else? We're going to hear Roleb talk
I
tomorrow.
had one other thing.
Yes.
Does anybody care to talk about Peter Jacobson's comments about the tour to
Sure, we got
Adam
5 minutes.
Schupak?
I honestly haven't read them yet. It sounds like you took a flamethrower to the
Peach,
tour.
do you have the quotes handy?
No, I'm too afraid to touch my computer. Genuinely.
Okay. The sentiment was, the getting smaller, scarcity is the worst idea. The tour should be getting bigger.
Bigger?
Yeah.
Do we have to platform? I saw Chubby Chandler speaking, Peter Jacobson speaking. Why are we platforming all this stuff?
Oh, man, it's gotten buried here. God,
Well-
Schupak just gets takes. He's everywhere.
Put the recorder down and let him cook, baby.
I can't even find the article now.
Well, he's a volume shooter. He's a
They
volume
just buried.
shooter.
Maybe they took it off.
Maybe they took it down.
It was something to the effect of the tour needs to grow, not shrink. The number
Yeah.
of there should be more events. It was insane.
It's
Curtis Strange, Peter Jacobson. I've got it.
All right, here we go.
I think we're in a fog right now. We're in the fog right. Like, what is this? Vietnam? What are we talking about? I think we're in the fog right now. What's the next? It's a huge gamble to trying to remake the PGA Tour. I've read a lot of the players saying, well, we all know the PGA has to change. And I asked the question, why? It was really working really well before. And if the players wanted to have tournaments where good players play more often together, they have that at LIV. Go join LIV. What? He's where good players play more often together? Go to LIV? Like, what is he trying to do? Run them off?
Yeah,
For the better product?
We don't want good players playing together more often.
The tour has started and always existed and thrived based on the communities where we play and the charities that we support. I think that's probably an accurate reflection of the situation in 1985 or something like that. This is not modern sports.
Why does Peter Jacobson's opinion matter at all?
Well, yeah.
Sometimes when you replace Singer on Champs Tour broadcast deep in the summer, I mean, people value your opinion.
I get scared when I hear people say cutting events. When you look at individual communities, those events are so important to that community and the charity money raised. I agree with you, but there's a larger sports league here. At work, we can't just think about. Doesn't sound like it's going to be a good situation for the Quad Cities on the scarcity schedule.
No,
Doesn't sound not like. I don't think I'm probably breaking news.
Do you think
on that.
they were contemplating a move?
I think open to moving somewhere in Illinois. I don't know. It's more populous. I don't know, but yeah, like that community, Quad City is important. The charity, it's a modern sports league in 2026.
Look at the next sentence.
I haven't read this yet. This is all new to me. I'm reacting on the fly.
You're just now telling me for the first time.
Is this one? I always thought the PGA Tour should expand their reach rather than contract their reach. Count me as someone who thinks we should be growing the tour, having more events rather than contracting. Where is there room to grow? It's on 48 weeks a year.
You know what? He said count him in as a pro-expansion vote. You've been counted. We'll count you in. We got you.
Well, the thing too is he thinks the only way to grow the reach is by adding tournaments. Is adding shit tournaments is going to grow the reach of the tour rather than making tournaments better so more people watch.
I need a tournament that can get Brian Stewart in the field again. Why can't we? That's not increasing reach. I mean, you got, Steve Kerr on the record last night saying we need 10 less games. We're going to make less money, but we need 10 less games. It's not the modern game. So.
Event of the week, Arizona State just running roughshot over the field.
This is a good way to end this.
Minus 38. They're about to finish. TCU's in second at 19 under. Just a demolishing. ASU. Watch out. Maybe BP, you could ask their players next week how you doing.
Are we going to encounter them? We're in the play.
I
there's not a lot of names ahead of us. Check the.
Oh, it's such a good line.
Pretty good.
So good.
Well,
remember that?
Oh, it's such a good line.
I mean, if you look, there's not a lot of people
These
ahead of us.
clip boys.
We've only lost to 3 teams all year. We've played 7 events.
The clipped rankings are have LSU 6th. So, BP, to your credit, there are 5 teams ahead of them in this ranking.
I was just asked how you doing generally. I wouldn't mean what are you ranked? All right. A wide-ranging Players Championship live show preview. This will be on the podcast feeds. I think we're going to do a little chit-chat.
You think people that got to hear know that it's on the podcast feeds?
I would hope so.
We still got 350 people on YouTube right now. So
we're going to do a little chit-chat, I think, after Roll-Up's press conference. Distill it down.
Are we?
Yeah. Not a podcast. Just a look for that on social channels or somewhere.
We'll have
Maybe
some microphones. We'll have a cell
website
phone.
post. We're going to have live blog or a blog post from Kevin and Joseph and me and others after. And then we might stand up and do a little quick takeaways from the roulette presser. We will talk to you then on Wednesday. Keep an eye on social. Subscribe to the Fried Egg newsletter. Subscribe to the Fried Egg Pod, Shotgun Starts, Zangle. Going to have a big week down here at TPC Sawgrass. Can't wait to get it going. We will talk to you on Thursday night. Live Thursday night after play, PJ? Computer still running?
Computer's still
All
running.
right, plan for that. We'll talk to you then.